Hello, everyone. Welcome to the final teams show for round 19 ahead of the big clash Sunday, 4:40 p.m. at Marvel Stadium. It's the Blues and the Kangaroos. This is it. This is big time. This is in about an hour from now, it's the moment of truth. We're going to find out the answers to the questions that we had last night with a big extended team that was revealed. We've got some press conference. We've got a press conference to look at. We've got new bits of information coming through. We're going to hang out as we always do. And then at about 5 p.m., the final teams will be announced. And then we can unpack it and get ready for round 19. Hey, we're brought to you by Mr. Cabinets, Settlement Road, Thomastown. If you are looking to get any renovations done, your kitchen redone, anything like that, head to mrcabinets.com.au. Derek will look after you. I am really excited for this show. Really excited. I think my early week was in a bit of a, when you just go through the winter blues, or you just feel you're just not feeling at your best. Let me tell you, the pick me up was reflections, and then last night, the team show last night, just a real pick me up. So I'm also realizing the gravity of where we're at, and that is the end of the season, end-ish of the season. So we have to soak it up, because in a couple of months, we're going to be sitting here, biscuit ass, reflecting on this season that was. So it was a good reminder this week just to get back into gratitude and enjoy it while it's here. So who have I got here? Got Aiden. Aiden's always here early as well. Mate, it's going to be fascinating. Hewitt Motlop was the consensus last night. I don't know. I got a feeling Pitto might be out. I haven't watched the press conference yet. I know that maybe some of you have. So I waited. I actually waited for the show so we could watch it together. So we'll go through that shortly, unless there's information in there that's been revealed. I know that Sam Durden was mentioned, but I haven't heard anything else. We'll get to it shortly when a few others come. Paul, hello, mate. Maya, Tasmos, 7. Good to see you here. Maz, Tyler. We've got Rob Galicio. Tez, give it to us, mate. I'm here giving it to you. Hey, Luca. Who's ready for a belting? As in, we're giving the belting or we're receiving the belting? Stephen, hey, mate. Braden, Calabro. Robert again. Lana the Angel. Yeah, finals is near. It's true. It's very true. Matt Lang, I'll get to that shortly. Corin, W's in the chat, Tezza. True. W's in the chat. Absolutely. Luca, you want to see Jack Martin get a chance? Well, he wasn't named. He's not in the extended squad, so I don't know if it's possible. But we'll see. Chris, Lucinda, what is on the menu? I know you like to have dinner at the same time as watching this. Is it a bit early for dinner or picnic? What's the story? Who else have we got? We've got AO, we've got Hyde, Carls. Hello, Carls. Dirds against his old team. We'll see that. Hello, Alex. Laurie. He's been watching footage of Jack's first run. You know what? Love it. Michael Weisler. Love from LA. Tez. Hey, mate. Welcome. It's late, isn't it? I think it's late on the West Coast. I am going... Martin is named on the bench as of now. Is he? You sure about that? I mean, I'll take your word for it. I don't remember that being the case. No, he's not. He's not. He is. Hey, my bad. He is. He's actually the first name. Interesting. All right. We've got a few things to watch. Firstly, I was at the South Melbourne market today. And I bumped into a gentleman. His name's Lou. Watches the channel, loves the channel. So Lou, if you're watching, hello again to you, mate. Let's take a look. Firstly, this is just a feel-good story, really. It's Jack Silvani's First bit of running. Look at this. Away he goes. There he is. First bit of running for Jack Silvani. Little milestone ticked off. He's a big boy. You know what? I mean, I don't have to tell you to remind you. You really don't know what you're missing till it's gone because, talk about the ruck conundrum and we want Tom de Koning playing in the ruck. Jack Silvani would be the perfect pinch hit ruck, really. So I don't know what the mix looks like when Jack comes back. That's a next year's conversation, I think. So anyway, I think that's a really nice little update. So let's see. Boyd is listed as injured. But whoa. On the AFL app. You know what? Okay. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at what's going on here. Matches. Injury list. Huh? This is the injury list on the AFL website. Are you saying the app? Oh, hey, Lachlan Gaff. Are you watching, Lachlan? Because if you are, thank you very much. Lachlan has made an order at the BA shop. So if any of you out there would like to get around the BA shop, fresh items stocked. Every couple of weeks, I put some new things in there. Lachlan, thank you very much. What's he got? He's got a pin. He's got a stubby holder. Love your work. Thank you, mate. AFL app is out on Teams. AFL app Teams. All right. I'm looking at the AFL app. I mean, I believe you. Oh, is that why Jack Martin appeared? Because he wasn't named. I could have sworn his name wasn't there last night. Oh, you're right. You are so right. Okay. Now that is an update. Well done. Who picked up on that? Very good. Very good. So if we go to lineups, yeah, see right there. Jordan Boyd injured. Wow. Okay. Jack Martin's name. I'm not tripping, right? He wasn't named last night, Jack Martin. I'm not going crazy. No, I'm sure Jack Martin was not on that list last night. Am I going crazy? Okay, now he's the first name. Nah, he definitely wasn't on that list last night. For sure. Boyd was. Boyd was on the list. Yeah, he was. I think Boyd was on the bench. Yeah, Cincotta was in the pocket. Kennedy was half forward, Motlop in the pocket. Yeah, no issue there. Hewitt was named on the bench. Pitter was the last name. Okay. Okay, cool. Well, there you go. There's a development. You know what? Can we watch the press conference? So maybe there's a bit of information. I was sure Boyd was going to miss. I thought he looked a bit off last week.
Obviously, how are you feeling about taking on the Roos on Sunday?
Really looking forward to it. Obviously, it's another.
Okay, first reaction from me. He already has more energy. I felt last week he was a bit. Was he sick? He was a bit, phlegmy. Already can sense a different energy about him right now.
Good opportunity to get in front of our home fans, so that's always a real positive. Hopefully we've got another 50,000 people there. And
Jason, you can change the side if you have an injury, which is obviously what's happened.
Sure, it'll be a good game. Look, we've been nothing but impressed with the Roos' current form line. They've put a good body of work together. So, looking through their past games over the last 5 or 6 weeks, they certainly look a lot more stable, a bit more, obviously consistent in terms of the players they've been playing and their performances. So, we're looking to bring an absolute best of ours to this particular contest.
Plenty of changes last night. Are any of those boys that you've named have to get through training today to be picked?
There'll be a couple. I bet it's more just because I didn't do the first training session, which is nothing unusual. We normally sort of manage the first part of the week, and then we use this one as to obviously to get the guys going. But no, we're pretty settled. Sam Dern might be the one that needs to just do a little bit of a run around today, or sort of get through parts of training today.
So what's behind picking Sam Durden? Does it allow Jacob Wettering to be freed up a bit to go and intercept the ball?
Possibly. I mean, he's why he's considered is because he's in good form.
So I'll just pause that. So Boyd got a corked shin last week, early in the game.
And, we've obviously got a couple of boys in similar boat. Obviously, Jesse Motlop's been able to go back, and he's got now, 4 or 5 weeks of football under him, and feel like he's been steadily building his form over the last month. So he's certainly earned the right to get himself back into this team. Obviously, the big one for us was also with George Hewitt and his form. He's been in great form throughout periods of this year, and went back and played very, very well last week in the VFL. So we know that he comes back into the team as well. So strengthen up that midfield area for us. So look, we like to always balance out, and give reward to players that are playing some good footy in the VFL, and we've got to balance that against the players that are in there in that particular time, or the role that's actually available as well. So we're always doing those balances.
How's McGovern tracking? Obviously,
I don't know if you can hear that, but the question is, how's McGovern tracking?
No, he hasn't really sort of progressed as fast as we would have liked this week. I mean, we had the 1-2 week marker there anyway. We would have liked to have done maybe a little bit earlier in the week, a little bit more early in the week. So we'll take the few extra days, and obviously we've got a pretty tight turnaround into the next one. So we think he'll be available for next week.
We can see Doc out on the track. Are you excited, hopeful? What's your feeling around his
Sam Doherty question.
progress?
No, I think we've jumped the gun a little bit too early there. Appreciate there's obviously an interest because of the person he is and some of the things he's been through. But no, he's stepping through pretty well. So, to see him out here and out on the grass running around, it's great to see. But, we're probably finding a few shots a little bit too early there.
You take anything, though, from the speedy comebacks of Melksham, McStay, some of the older guys have been able to rehab really fast from these ACLs. Does that give you any confidence?
No, I think there's lessons to be learned in any rehabilitation. It's sort of, I think that's common practice to be able to look where those challenge points are. But, we've also got to look at the individual, and, we've obviously got our own view in terms of where that sort of sits. And, so we need to take our time. We'll take our time. We're more than happy to do that.
Can you run us through some of the things you've had to address this week, the main things, I suppose, after the Doggies loss?
You asked what were some of the main things you had to address after the Doggies loss? You know what? Fair play. Good question. Solid question.
Well, I think most people have been talking out there around our defence, and I think we'd agree. It's not been up to scratch where we would like it in the last 2 weeks. The month before that, we aimed up in that area, and the reality is the last 2 weeks it's been really disappointing. So there's some really simple things within it, though. It's not like it's it's a lot of big things. There's still feel like a lot of that part of our game is actually going okay, but we've got a couple little things we need to be able to chase and make sure we continue to refine. And but we've lowered our guard, and teams have been able to score a little bit too easily. So we're going to have to address that pretty quickly.
Just on Brady Kemp, what's the messaging to him been this week? What do you need?
Question is, what's the messaging to Brodie Kemp?
I just think we need to see more consistency. The opportunity sometimes I think we underestimate is to go back and work on your craft and build your confidence. And he's been had a number of games in a row with that sort of, if you want to call it back seven, because we're including the guy on the interchange, obviously. And so there's some good cohesion and good connection with the group. But we do sort of feel like that we've got some guys there that have been waiting in the wings for an opportunity, and he's going to go back and work on his game, and we still see him playing a really strong role for us moving forward. But he's obviously got to chase a couple of things and hopefully gets back into the team pretty quickly.
Okay, there's a bit to get through. Firstly, I can see Danny Jones got yourself a pin and a BA mug. Danny Jones. Danny Jones. So it's the 19th of July. So any this is the pin. Wait, Let me just get it out. This is the pin. So any order in July, you won't get that pin because that one's got a bit of a fault to it. But any pin in July, I'm sending, or any order from the BA shop in July is going to get a free, even if you order a pin, you're going to get a free alternate version. There's only a few of these that I've got. I actually ordered, I think it was 150 of them. There's about 20 of them out there in the world right now that are owned by people. So I'm going to give a free one of these out to any order from the BA shop until the end of July. So thank you, Danny Jones. All right, now press conference. First thing, Doc. Way to rain on our parade. I was getting excited, but I think he needed to do that. I think that's fair enough. I think we needed, like, we're excited. We love Doc. We want to see him back, but it'd be pretty wild to see him playing. I mean, McStay's back this week for the Pies, I saw, which that in itself is remarkable. He has had a bit more time than Doc to recover. But that was the first thing that jumped out at me. And then I thought the comments around Brodie Kemp were interesting. I like it. At the end of the day, the defense is letting us down, and that's the team defense. I think Brodie can get himself straight back into the team. Couple of good games in the VFL. I think it's a good learning curve for him. I have no issue with dropping players at all, especially a player like Kemp. One thing I want to do this week in particular with our defense is watch what happens off the ball, behind the play. It's very hard because you get sucked into the ball when you're watching there, when you're at the game, but I really want to take note of what's happening off the ball when we don't have it, and the communication. That's something I'm going to make a mental note to do. But anyway, what are you all thinking? He'll make it, Doc. Just depends on if we pick him. How happy are we to have Hewitt and Mott's back in the lineup? Well, let's, you know what? I want to bring up this team again. Okay. No, I'm going to do this from the Carlton website. Hang on a second. Do it from here. I did not pick up on the Jack Martin thing at all. See that? Okay. So this is how it's named. I'm a bit more of a visual person, so this works so much better for me. This is what it looks like. Firstly, Aiden got himself a pin. Thank you, mate. Appreciate that. Let's take a look. What else pops out to you when you see this? The fact that they've named, not that it matters, but the fact that Jack Martin is up the top of the interchange bench, I think he'll play. I got a feeling it's going to be Hewitt and Motlop and Jack Martin in for Zach Williams, Jordan Boyd, and obviously Brodie Kemp. So you got a big three. I guess Cunners was the other one. If we're talking about form, Cunners seems to be in better form, but Jack Martin, you just got to get him. You got to get him playing footy, don't you? I personally believe Jack Martin is in the best version of this side. His body just lets him down, and because of that, and I mean, I thought he looked a bit rusty last week. To be fair, I don't think his form was outstanding from what I saw in the VFL. And I don't think he would be at his very best if he played this week. But I do understand the need for him to play, to get going, to get the body up and about before finals. Because he's a guy that you definitely need. I mean, we've got 6 rounds to go. So what's that? You need 4 to 6 weeks to get him really fit. We've already seen the touch that seems to be missing from Cottrell and Chera after their return. So I would expect something similar with Jack. And yeah, it would be his 150th game if he did play. So I don't know. It's an interesting one. What do you think? Hey, Isabel. Yeah, so we got the news. I don't know when it happened, but Jordan Boyd was added to this list because of an injury. So I'm assuming at 5 o'clock when teams are named, we're going to get that in the update. But Boyd was added to the omissions and Jack Martin was added to the inclusions from what we saw last night, because we didn't see either of their names there in the show last night. Josh, you're watching AFL Evolution 2 preliminary final 2v2 tournament with Dan. How come you didn't stream the grand final for it? I don't remember, to be honest. I don't remember. 2v2 tournament. I don't recall. Actually, yeah, that's weird that I don't, but I don't remember what happened. Jay, you'd be expecting something left field as far as selection. Well, I don't know why, but I think because Pito's here, I have this suspicion that he's going to come out of the side. And they're going to go with De Koning in the ruck and, Harry. I was getting carried away, mate. I was enjoying it. I did enjoy it. You know what I enjoyed about the Evolution streams? Do you guys remember when we used to play and I used to play online? I reckon I'd crack the top 10 at one point and then people would fucking quit on me and I would call them weak and we would spam weak in the chat. Now that was fun. In the AFL live app, Pito is mentioned as out. Okay, so the plot thickens. It just continues to thicken. So 3:35 is when this was last updated. I think they've only just updated the Boyd news. Thought Pito was injured again. No. Do I remember that guy Hawks 1244? Not really. You know who I remember? Billy Aspros. I couldn't beat him. Could never beat him. He had my number. And I remember saying, Billy's got my number. Couldn't do it. Needed to return commentary versus world. True. Mate, we are taking over the world. It's just you and me, mate. Yeah, fighting the forces. If Pito was going to play, he probably would have been named. Yeah, I agree. I think if Pito was playing, they would name him and De Koning on the field. Trying to think, has anything else changed from last night? Chincotta was always in the back pocket. Akers was there. Hollins was always there. Kennedy was always there. Motlop was there. Looks a better balanced team. I would quit like every game. Yeah. That was, yeah. Weak as piss. I remember. Just imagine a FIFA Ultimate Team-esque AFL game. I would become a professional fat ass. Yeah. It would be fun. I'm not sure. I don't have the AFL Live app, but appreciate that. Appreciate the updates. Let TDK take on Sherry. Similar age, size, and experience. You know what? Let's take a look. What is the story of Tristan Sherry? Because there's that's a good point too. Like, let him have a crack at it. Let me share my screen. So if we go North Melbourne, what number is Sherry? There are a couple of names here that I didn't even know played in the league. Hamish Free, Robert Hansen Jr. Interesting. Sherry, he's 25. He's having a great year. Lifelong North Melbourne supporter. Yeah, look, career year. This is his career averages here, and this is his 2024 averages here. 16 disposals a game, 6 clearances a game, 32 hitouts a game. Mate, he's having a fantastic year. This is it. This is him. He's played 50 games. So he's 25. Hang on a minute. They don't say weight anymore. No, they don't. Pick 72 in the 2017 draft. Okay, so De Koning is pick 30 in the 2017 draft. Petro, you're right. Why did I think Sherry was older? De Koning's 25, played 76 games. You know what? I stand corrected. Absolutely let Tom get at him. It's going to be a great matchup. Yeah, fair. They're on a very similar trajectory. Sherry gets a lot more. I mean, he averages a lot more hit outs. To be fair, De Koning has played in a season where he's got Pitto in the team, for some games as well. But I don't look at De Koning as a bulk hit out ruckman anyway. He doesn't win a lot of hit outs as much as what he does his work around the ground. That's Pom recovered from used to be lean. Oh. Yeah. Short kicks in Evo? Yeah. I couldn't work. It was either short kicks or long kicks and spam tackle. That was kind of it. You know what? I had an idea to do this last night. I promise. I had an idea in my mind to take a screenshot just in case there was any fuckery. I'm going to do it from now on. When we have a Sunday game and we have extended teams and then final teams, I'm going to do it. Did a deep dive on Sherry and TDK. Is this the duopoly video? I haven't seen it yet. Alex, footy coach on stream. I used to do the data for draftees for the game. Motlop is the GOAT. He is the GOAT. Sherry wants 62 hot dogs in a sitting. That's elite. He's definitely heavier than TDK. Yeah. Blue Bagger's Edge. New age mobile ruck who acts as a virtual extra mid. Sherry averaging the most tackles of all rucks at 7.3 per game. Yeah, he's a tackle machine. Yeah. His development was the reason they let go of Goldstein. Yeah, totally. Steve, just letting you know from an older Carlton supporter, mate, you'll know when we are flag worthy. Can't have Chera doing nothing, Kennedy and Hewitt going in and out, and Cottrell terrible. Fair enough, Steve. I'm hoping that those boys can find a way to settle back in the team. I think Chera's too good to not respond. I think he's too good of a player. I think Cottrell as well. I think they are both suffering from just missing a good chunk, and then they're just synergizing with the team and the system. John Holden, heads up to anybody wanting to purchase a BA hoodie from the store. Awesome quality, very warm, well worth the price, plus it helps the channel. Thank you very much, John Holden. Appreciate that. Yes, the hoodies and all the BA things are there for you. The link is pinned to the top of the live chat. thebashop.com. Thanks, Johnny. No fuckery via AFL app. Tez, I uploaded it to my Excel. Love that. Currently trapped in a servo with no fucking access to Bendigo Bank. Disaster. SEN chat was interesting around what to value with ruck contest versus open play. Mm-hmm. Can I show the short run Sauce had at training? I mean, I did. I can show you again if you like. Let me show you 1 minute. For those of you who have come a little bit later, give me a minute. I'll show you a bit of Jack Silvani just running around. And then we're going to play a little game. Here he is. Loving the buzz cut look. I just think it's clean. On your Sodge. Okay, that's that. 31 likes with 160 watching. Hit that like button. Yeah, if you would like to help the channel, not financially, you don't have to pay for something, but the best thing you can do every time you tune into a video that you enjoy and get value from is just hitting the like button. That'll help a lot. Aiden, do you think this week we'll see Chera, Cots, etc. prove people wrong? I do. I back him in. What do you think? Hey, Jeff, they have to produce this week or it's curtains. I think you might be right, my friend. Not Carlton related, but Dean Cox rejected the Eagles. Really? That's interesting. Is that fresh? Mitch Cleary. Senior assistant Dean Cox will remain with the Sydney Swans today, informing West Coast Eagles that he will not be applying for the senior coaching role in Perth. Now, that's obviously relevant because they might have a look at Ash Hansen. Footy numbers, waiting for the old players, historic. Footy numbers, why waiting? Do the old players historic, only Carlton players. Can you do that? Is that a thing? Footy numbers with historic version. Oh, what? Okay, that's brilliant. All right. I didn't know you could do this. Okay, let's do this. Let's have some fun with this. I'm going to need your help in the chat. If this is what I think it is, it's Carlton players who have played. We're going to be given their number. You got to tell me who it is if I don't know. And then we can see how we go. Let's have a test. Judd? Oh, okay. So you've got a number of answers. Fantastic. Oh, well, this is... Okay. Oh. Matty Watson. Yeah, but the thing is, you can do current players. Heath Scotland. Is the idea of this game to keep it rare? Is that what we're trying to do? Tom Williamson. Oh, okay. So the idea is to get these randoms. I didn't know Sergio Silvani wore the 20. Camper Reale wore the 16. 18%. Okay. 18. I'll wait for you on this one. I mean, Sam Walsh is the obvious. Oh, what was his name? Didn't Aaron Mullett wear the 18? I reckon he did. Yeah, he did. What was the... Murphy, Kevin Heath. Mullet, 3%. Okay, so that's what we want. Okay, I've picked up on the game. It's got to be rare. A rare number 2. A rare number 2. Guys, help. Not Dow. Okay, Dow would be the old one. Sauce. Sauce did wear the 2. You're right. Jack did wear the 2. Oh, it's a good call by you. It's a great call by you. Who was that? Who said that? Jack Sauce, Blues fan. Danny. It's great. It's real good by you. So the rarity's gone down. Number 8. Cruiser. I'm going to go Adrian Hickmont. He wore the 8. No, he didn't wear the 8. What? Oh. He did. Who am I thinking of? Obviously not him. Oh, well, that sucks. Okay, I know how it works now. Maybe we can return to that. That was cool. Yeah, I did go quick. I backed myself in. Oh. Let's do this. We'll come back to it. That was fun. I want to do this. Warple. Guys, who in the world is that? You want a link for the footy numbers game? Yeah, I got you. Sure. That is a link for the... Oh, is that going to work? That's a weird link. I don't know if that's going to work, but that's a weird link. That's just directly copied from my search bar. Doc, Weeders, Flanders. Oh, yeah, Flanders. Wiedering. See, I feel like Wiedering's got a more... I feel like there's a slant in the head here. And Weeders has got a more rounded head. Yeah, look at Weeders' head in the thumbnail. Jordan Sweet. Danger. Chad Warner. Oh, that's a good one. Okay. Oof. What do we know? The player, this doesn't give us much. The player is definitely taller than 185. So like 188 or more. Yeah, this is current players. Plays for a team in a state bordering New South Wales. Debuted within 3 years of 2020. Lincoln McCarthy. Hamish Free. Pom Cotter. Oh, Pom Cotter's got the little curls on top in his photo. Zorko. Oh, yeah. Debuted before 2020. Is he taller than 185? Don't think so. Does have a Zorko-ish head, though. Tom Duday from Brisbane. Oof. That's a good guess. Tom Doty. Ah. Is that Alana Baker? That was elite. That was very good by you. Very good by you. Well done. Well played. Hey, Wayne. Wayne just got himself a Blue Abroad hoodie. Thanks, Wayne. I should have like a little sound that we play every time there's an order at the shop. Maybe... Maybe that. Who's the legend? We can do the legend. Yeah, we can do the legend. Let's do the legend. So a player that's Mark Murphy. That's 100% Mark Murphy. That is 1,000,000% Mark Murphy. Yeah, mate. There you go. That's like instant. That's you just when you know you boy, you know. Yeah. What a time. It was the hair. Like I've used that. You know what it was? I've used that profile photo in thumbnails, and you just know. You just know. What would have been worse is if I didn't know who that was. There was also another one that could be a bit of fun. So the footy grid is like Carlton, North Melbourne related. So maybe we can have a crack at that. We've got 20 minutes till the final teams are announced. So we'll get through that. So here we go. Why don't we start? Oh, fuck. Okay. Let's start here. Let's name a 3-club player that has kicked 5 or more goals in a game. Josh, how's my AFL fantasy going? Fucking terrible, mate. We lost 6 in a row. We won last week. We've got ourselves in the 8. Max Gorn's out injured. We brought Callum Mills and then he got injured. Like disaster, absolute disaster. A 3-club player that kicked 5 goals. Hogan, Jack Gunston, Hawthorn, Brisbane, Adelaide. True. But these ones are interesting. How did you drop you? Oh, mate, he hadn't scored 80 all year. We had to let him go. Then he pops out a 94 against us last week. Actually sickening. Genuinely sickening. We brought in Mitch Nevitt this week. Yeah, maybe I'll show you the team later, but we're struggling. Ben Ronk. I don't know if Ben Ronk played for 3 clubs, though. Mark Jackson, Jacob Townsend, Brereton, Simon Beaumont, Mark Jackson. John, I'm gonna back you in here. 81 to 86, and you're telling me he played for 3 clubs and kicked 5 goals in a game. Mate, you're right. There you go. What about a 3-club player that played at least 1 game for North Melbourne? Braden Pruce. I feel like that's a bit too new. He played for Melbourne, North Melbourne, and now the Giants. A 3-club player. North Melbourne. Martin Like, Tom Campbell. That's a good guess. .61. Not as rare as I thought. All right, a 3-club player that played for Carlton. Matt Kennedy, GWS, Carlton. Justin Murphy played for 4. That's definitely one. Akers has played for 3. Oscar McDonald, good call. Very good call. You want a guy that's only played 1 or so games for us. Very good call. Lockie Henderson. Yeah, Brisbane, Carlton, Geelong. It's very good. Orazio is another one. Greg Williams is another one. Does 4 clubs count? Mark Athorn. I mean, yeah. Yeah, good call. Well done. Okay. Who's a player that played in 10 consecutive wins and has kicked 5 goals in a game? Didn't we win 10 games in a row last year? We've only got Charlie and Harry that would have kicked 5 in a game. Did Jack Martin ever kick 5 in a game? No. 10 wins, Brad Pearce. He kicked 5 in a granny. Oh, John, you're a genius. Brad Pearce. Oh, it's elite. It's elite. We won 9 in a row. Okay, it was 9, not 10. Very good. Okay, 10 consecutive wins and played a game for North Melbourne. Byron Pickett. 10 consecutive wins. Someone who played in 10 consecutive wins and played at least 1 game for North Melbourne. Cam Mooney. Well, it could be Cam Mooney because he played for North Melbourne and surely Geelong won 10 in a row. Mick Martin, Horse, Wayne Carey, David King. Did that North Melbourne team win 10 in a row? Nick Del Santo. The Saints definitely won 10 in a row. He played for North. That's good. Malcolm Blight. Robert Scott. Corey Mooney. Think. Who? Schimmelbusch. Oh. Which one? Which one? Genki Rose. This is an elite name. Which one though? Daryl or Wayne? Wayne? There you go. Didn't even know this person existed. Wayne Schimmelbusch. There you go. All right. Carlton. Somebody that played in 10 consecutive wins and at least 1 game for Carlton. So we're going to have to go back into the 90s. Right? The 95 team, they won 16 in a row. Who was the most random player to play Mighty Blue 7? He was one of the all-time greats. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. I'm extremely sorry that I didn't know that. Who was one of the most random players to play in that 16-game winning streak for the Blues in 95? Milhana. Well, Andrew Christou would have played, yeah. Adrian Whitehead, rising star. That is the type of answer I think I'm looking for. Yes, very good. Who was that? Says. Love that. Love that by you. Okay, we need a player now that has played 1 game with Nick Larkey and kicked 5 goals in a game. Ugh. Jared Waite. True. Did they play together? Yeah. Okay. Still weird. A teammate of Nick Larkey. At least one game with Nick Larkey and at least 1 game for North Melbourne. I think I'm just going to go with like Del Santo. No. Stevenson. Nathan Rovat. That is a very good pick. Oh, well done. Well done. That's a very good pick. And then a teammate of someone who's played a game with Nick Larkey and played a game for Carlton. I mean, Zach Fisher is the obvious one. Sam Durden. Yep. Aaron Mullet. Did Mullet play with... You know what? Whenever it's Mullet, it's Mullet. Yeah, whenever it's Mullet, it's Mullet. He's a fan favorite. Very good. Very good. Okay. So we are 10 minutes away from a final team. Thank you, everyone who's made a purchase from the BA shop. Appreciate you. Thank you to our sponsor, Mr. Cabinets. Let's get some final predictions for our changes. I'll bring up the teams again. So we know 3 changes are being made, and we know that Hewitt and Motlop are 2 of them. So right ins and outs. No, Boyd did not get dropped. However, Boyd was named to the outs because he's evidently got an injury. This was updated on at 3:35 p.m. and the chat picked up on it. I didn't know. I did not pick up on this at all. We can do numbers. We can. I kind of want to get back onto the teams. We can do numbers after this, after the teams get dropped. We've got 9 minutes to go. Pitto in, Hewitt out, meltdown incoming. Hit the like button while we're waiting. Yeah, hit the like, subscribe. Yeah, it's got to be something to do with his corked shin from last week. Razor Ray Chamberlain. Is it just me, or has he not umpired much lately? Or maybe I just haven't watched the games where he has. Motlop, George and Cunningham. Motlop, George and Cunningham. And Durden, you're bringing him in. Out Boyd, Williams, Kemp, and Pitto. Samuel, Hogarth. Hewitt, Motlop, Cunningham, Durden. So same. Durds, Hewitt, Motlop in. Boyd, Kemp, Williams out. I think... Oh, Durds, okay. I don't think we're going to see Sam Durden. I don't know why. I just don't. Like, where's he playing? Unless Wiedering or Marchbank are coming out. Like, why would we bring in Sam Durden to play alongside Marchbank and Wiedering? That doesn't make sense to me. Yeah. Jack Carroll, I don't think he'll be named because Kennedy already there, Hewitt already there, Chera's there. I don't think we need a Jack Carroll. Cunners potentially as the sub, but I don't know if they're going to go with Jack Martin. I'd be shocked if Sam Durden lines up with these 2 big boys there. North Melbourne's forward line is Larkey and Bryn Teakle. Then you've got, okay, Zerha. That's maybe a Marchbank matchup. Or do you put Cowan on him? Nick Newman? Teakle, I mean, it's Wiedering to Larkey. I don't know. Hewitt, Motlop, Cunningham, Williams, Kemp, and Boyd out. He hurt his back. Who's this? In Motts, in Martin. A big deep breath and inshallah, everyone. It's a good call. It's a very good call. Oh, regarding Razor. Okay, so this is his return game? Martin has 1 game. Why bring him back? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he looked okay in patches in the VFL last week. I would play the highlights, but they're from Channel 7. So I think they'll get picked up and copyrighted, and then the stream will get taken down. Then I've got to edit it out again. But I'm very, very tempted to just play the highlights and then just edit them out later. Need to know why Kemp was dropped before Margie. Yes, Terry Ray hasn't done many games. Hewitt, Motlop, Martin, S. Durden with Cunner's sub. Hey, Stephen Dunlop. Stephen Dunlop has picked himself up the AirPods case cover with a Blue Abroad hoodie. I've got to find a better sound. I've got to find a way better sound. Thanks, mate. Could Kerno play in the back line? As in Charlie? Like permanently? Blues fan. It looks like Sam Durden is not going to get up for Sunday's game. He's very limited during today's training session at Icon Park. Hasn't pulled up well from last week's VFL game versus Footscray. A journo. Let's have a look. There is an update. Ed Burke. That's exactly right. It looks like Sam Durden isn't going to get up. He's very limited during today's training session at Icon Park. Hasn't pulled up well from last week's game. Yep. Okay. Well, there you go. Bossy said Sam played well in the VFL, and I reckon March is a bit slow. He did say that. I wonder if that press conference was filmed before the training session today. Injured. Razor Ray was injured ages ago. This would be his first game back. All right. We are moments away. We're minutes away. We're 4 minutes away. I fear the fans' response if we lose. Yeah. Me too. Me too. I'm not going to lie to you. So do I. It's tough. We're a tough bunch to please. But listen. Make no mistake about it. We have to be winning this game. This is a non-negotiable. Channel 7's systems are down. Go for it, Tez. Are they? Tequila instrumental. All right. Pick a sound for when there's an order at the BA shop. I could just do the trumpet, but I feel like the trumpet gets a lot of use. Should make the sound the Blue Abroad intro sound. Oh, yeah. Don't mind that. Stephen, you're a star. Thank you, mate. What happened to Motlop? Nothing. You mean recently? Samuel, why don't we play Lewis Young? He was good beforehand for us. Don't know how Durden and Marchbank are ahead of him. I can see why Marchbank's ahead of him. I can't see why Sam Durden would be ahead of him personally. But Marchbank, I get it. And the reason why I get it is because Marchbank has quicker decision-making. I think Lewis Young has the tendency to take a little too long to make a decision. Do I remember round 19, 2021? Was that when Larky kicked 7? I do remember. If we lose, fan cams will be epic watching. Yeah, if we lose, not just big cup of tea, get through it. You know what? I said this, I think last year. They can't kill me. I'm already dead. Can't disappoint me anymore. All right, we're a minute away. Cash register. Oh, yeah. Hip hop, all right. Hold fashion, cash register. Are you beauty? All right. I'm going to play around with this. P Crips 3 votes for the sound. That's clever. Motlop was named, and he's still here in the forward pocket. It was Boyd that you are seeing. It's different, and now Jack Martin's been named. So Boyd was injured. We're going to get an update about that surely in a minute, like moments away from the team. Okay. Jordan, welcome. That's right. Jack Martin was not there yesterday. He's there today because Jordan Boyd was injured, and that's why you see Jordan Boyd here. We don't know exactly. I mean, I think we know why. It's from the corked shin from last week. All right. It's 5 p.m. Where's our teams at? Just refreshing. Nothing on Twitter yet. Yeah, we also do have a 5-day break after this. I don't want to look too far ahead, but it is a reality. That's why I'm curious around selection today. If they do, I think Jay said it earlier that there might be a curveball. Yeah, but it is 5 p.m. Where's our team? Where is our team? Okay, there's our team. It's official. Oh, Cunners is in. Great. Okay. Kemp is out. Williams is out. Boyd is out, which we understand. Pito has been omitted. In comes Motlop. They named him. I'm stunned. Hewitt and Cunningham. Wow. I want to see the Carlton update because in there will be a bit of a... Carlton has made 4 changes after initially confirming the inclusions of Jesse Motlop and George Hewitt last night. The Blues have opted for the additional pace of Jack Carroll and Dave Cunningham. Cunningham has played the last 4 games at VFL level, while Carroll had 30 disposals for the Carlton reserves last weekend. Jordan Boyd comes out of the side, which was named last night after he was unable to complete the main training on Friday due to shin soreness. So that's obviously from the cork. He's been replaced in the squad by Jack Martin as an emergency. Pitternet rounds out the changes as an omission after the exclusions of Zach Williams and Brody Kemp on Thursday night. Wow. All right. This is the team visually. Reaction? I'm a bit surprised at Carroll, if I'm honest. But they want pace. So there we go. That's us. Oh, Lana. Lana just got herself a BA hoodie. Thanks, Lana. I haven't used the trumpet yet, so I'll just run with it. Thanks, Lana. Okay. So Cowan, Wiedering, Nick Newman, Sard, Marchbank, Matt Kennedy named here in defense. I can't wait to talk about this with Pommy. Hollands, Cripps, Akers, Hollands, Mackay, Chera, Fogarty, Kerno, Motlop, with the followers being DeConing, Walsh, and Jack Carroll. Wow, it's a midfield heavy team. Interchange bench, Chincotta, which I would assume has him as the 7th defender. George Hewitt, midfield rotation. Cottrell, midfield / forward rotation, and Owies. We have a lot of pace, a lot of running power in this team. It's like bulk midfielders with Dave Cunningham potentially as the sub. All right, let me get through what you think. First of all, Jesse Motlop back in the side is just massive. Massive. I think it's just such an important Such an important addition, and I'm excited for him to play his first game. You think Carroll is the sub? Well, Carroll's named on the field. There you go. Looks a great team on paper. I think this is a team for those who subscribe to the leg speed in the side needed. This is a good team for that theory. We always seem to love naming Carroll in the team against North. That's a good pickup. Chincotta might go to LDU or Sheasel. Well, who did they name? They named Zach Fisher, Griffin Logue, and Robert Hanson Jr., the guy that I literally just talked about randomly. And then they've dropped Curtis Taylor, Callan Dawson, and Toby Pink. So Griffin Logue's a good defender. And I think that might be his first game for the year. Potentially. Or in a while. The axe was swung hard. The midfield suffered last week. I wonder if Voss is using this game to switch the midfield around and see what works best together. Yeah. Carroll will be sub. Chera in the forward line, Kennedy in the back line. Carroll getting a game over Binns and Pitto. Well, yeah, he's been better than Binns. Pitto's a ruck. Team's good other than Cottrell got lucky. Yeah, I feel like Cottrell's really got to find some form this week. North have a small side. They don't have too many big boys. That's why it's a smaller side. All right, well, let's compare. Our midfield this week should have been last week against the Dogs. I just don't see why Kennedy's half back. I'd be surprised if he plays bulk minutes at half back. I feel like that's an Adam Chera job. Anyway, we'll see. Almost want to take a screenshot of this just to see what the final teams look like. In fact, I'm going to do that. That's exactly what I'm going to do. Yeah. Taking a screenshot just so we can reflect on it next week when we do teams. We need speed. Thought Pomcotter would have gone back and played on Sheasel. He still might. Sheasel's been named in the halfback, at halfback. So maybe they're going to change that up because McKercher, is he? Okay, he's named. I mean, they've named Zach Fisher. So Sheasel may play forward. Curtis Taylor's a good out. He's a dynamic forward. Yup. McKercher is a watch. He didn't train much this week. Maybe a late out for Steve-O. He's been playing halfback in the VFL. It's a good pickup. Speed kills us and we know it. Yeah, that's true. How many games has Logue played for North? I watched North a bit, but just don't see him. He's been injured for a long time. I think this might be his first game for the year. I'll tell you now. I'm pretty sure it's his first game for the year. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely his first game. Isabel, Carroll's been amazing in the VFL, deserved. I agree with you. Big prediction. Chera and Kennedy will be on 90+ time on ground with them swapping positions throughout the match. Paul Sebastiani, good team, great team, sharp team, talented team. All players coming in are strong VFL form. Thanks, Paul. Ali, yeah, Griffin Logue's coming back from an ACL. Did Logue play in the VFL? He might. I mean, I don't know. I'm going to guess that he did. If any player is selected, they've earned their position and are trusted by Voss. Well, there was a bit of a message sent. He sent a message to Brody Kemp, and I guess to Mark Pitternet as well. Not taking anything away from Pitto, but I thought Sherry was a bit older, and I thought it was a bit bigger and older and more experienced than Tom. I didn't realize they were in the exact same draft. So in that case, why shouldn't Tom go against him? I also understand that, you want to keep Tom fresh and things like that. But I mean, he had the week off a few weeks ago. So it's going to be a great matchup, him and Sherry at it. A really great matchup. Bryn Teakle is their backup, but we heard from Marnie yesterday. She was saying that Sherry does like 90% of the rucking. So it's not like a split that we see with Pitto and De Koning. So in that case, if it's Harry Mackay pinch hitting in the ruck with Bryn Teakle, is what it is. Logue worries me because he cooks Kerno. Does he? He hasn't played in a long time. Rucking hell. Don't underestimate the Roos. Amen. Logue has played 3 games in the VFL, averaging 10 disposals a game. Yep. Hello, mate. Welcome. I think they're conserving Pitto's health, giving him a rest with such a fast turnaround the next round so soon. Could be the case. If you're just tuning in, welcome. Kemp, Williams, Boyd, and Pitto are out. Williams and Boyd are injured. Kemp and Pitto are omitted. Motlop's back for his first game for the year. Carroll's back for his first game in a while. George Hewitt back in the side. And Cunningham. When is the last time Dave Cunningham played footy for us? That's what I'm going to find out. Let's have a look. Cunners, 28. He's played 3 games this year. He played against the Pies in round 8. He played in opening round and he played in round 1. It's a vintage Dave Cunningham year, isn't it? It's a big patch coming up for him. He's 27. He's played 56 games. I hope it goes well. I really do. Hope he kills it. Going to text you. You got a spare ticket again for Sunday. Maybe raffle it off. How can I do this like quickly? Does anyone need a ticket for Sunday? Like a single? I don't think this is going to be a sellout game. Daniel, I appreciate it. Mitch is here, who took yours last week. If anyone has, you got 2 as well. Okay. If anyone needs a ticket, maybe message me on Instagram and I'll link you up. I'm heading in. I have a feeling it's not going to be a massive crowd. I hope there's 40,000 plus, but I've just got this feeling that people don't want to go because it's the graveyard shift, which I would encourage the opposite. I would encourage you to be reminded that we're going to miss the footy. We're going to have 6 months without it. We're going to be yearning for it. So we've got to get there. Anthony, half our side playing in midfielders. It's a very mobile team. Why not? North flying like this is blockbuster. It's 17th versus 2nd on a non twilight fixture. A BA catch up at the ground gets more of us to go. We could go before the game to one of the bars. In theory, we could. Yeah, Pommy, are you home? Are you home yet? Frankie, we're there with bells on up the next morning at 4 a.m. Yeah, so this week, we've got the game, watch along Sunday. We've got the game. Then we've got fan cams. So the Almost Blues Brothers will be on Monday. We're going to do a marathon again. So ratings at 5 p.m. Blue Abroad show 7 p.m. Almost Blues Brothers 8 p.m. So it's going to be mayhem. Monday mayhem. And then we're going to turn it around really quickly. Jordan, you hate living in the gong sometimes, mate. That's okay. Some things are temporary, you know. Things change. Does anyone know about MCC guest passes? Do you need a membership card to get in relating to the Pies game? I don't have anything for you. I'm not an MCC member. But if anybody here is, and you have any information for Debbie, let us know. Currently now at Woolies drive-through because I like to support ex-AFL players that I've picked up during the drive. Nice to see old faces as they pack my car full of food. True. Try living in New Zealand. It's hard yakka being abroad. All computers down around the world. IT. Yeah, what? I'm lost. What has happened? All computers down around the world. IT issue. Okay. Is that what? Oh, I think my sister messaged me about this. Wait, what is going on? Microsoft has gone down around the world? What? Have I been living under a rock? Has this just happened while we've been on stream? Microsoft. What's going on? Bill Gates says Microsoft has gone down around the world. Oh, I mean, okay. There you go. I had no idea. Just living blissfully ignorant on the Teams show. The end of civilization is here, and we are on the Blue Abroad team show. How good. This is how it started, guys. Lockdowns and COVID. This is how it's going to end. Just know, if the world's ending, I promise I'm going to go live, and we will just ride it out together while the asteroids come take us away. I legit said I was stealing petrol. It was like, yeah, I didn't get the reference, to be honest. Had to leave my ID with driving license. Jokes on them. $200 fuel for less than $50. Quality deal. There you go. Some ITM servers are blue screening. Wow, is this an attack? Cash is king. True. You don't need a membership if you've got a guest pass. The member who's letting you in is supposed to be accompanying you, but they should have a barcode ticket. There you go, Debbie. Thing is, I'm using Microsoft I'm using Google Chrome, but I'm using a Microsoft software here on this PC. It begins. Here we go. Happened at about 2:30, mate. Yeah, it's news to me. Put it that way. Completely news to me. As long as the outage doesn't affect KO. Well, KO is its own beast. Surely we're all experiencing the same rubbish when it comes to KO. Operating system of Microsoft's cloud. Yeah. I mean, I've got a MacBook Pro that I do a lot of the editing on with. Oh, that's right. By the way, do you guys enjoy the educational type videos that I've been doing lately? So I I just did the video on how Carlton became known as the Blue Baggers. I'm actually about to finish another one, which goes back through the Bryce Gibbs deal and how we got Tom de Koning eventually. I realized when I went through it how many more branches to the tree there was. Do you enjoy those that style of video? Because on the surface I don't, but when I actually start focusing on it, I become obsessive, and I've taken a liking to them. Do you prefer the long format on YouTube or the quick 60-second, 90-second on Instagram Reels? Does the hub still work? Asking for a friend. You prefer long form. Okay. You prefer it that way. All right. Because usually I would make it the other way around. I would do the short format first, long format on YouTube. I think what I'll do is I'll start with a long format and then create a short format from it. Okay. Long form, old school. I prefer long format, but even the long format videos, they go for like 7 minutes, 8 minutes. So it's not that long. Love the vids when it's something I had no idea about. Super interesting, diving deeper. I'll tell you what, the cockatoo rabbit hole that I went down, and Cocky Ma and how it was almost the mascot for the team. Fascinating stuff. This cockatoo used to sit on Bob Ma's like shoulder behind the goals and used to like chant. I don't know how we got the cockatoo into games or Princess Park. I haven't quite figured that out, but it was an icon. No, both, Tez. Stop being lazy. You're right. You're right. You're right. It is lazy. It's exactly what it is. Let's see the AFL fantasy team. Not yet. I'll bring it up. Just not yet. Let's just hang out a little bit more. Ahmed, yes, I did see the global outage. A little late, but I don't know. Touch wood. My world seems to be okay right now. No, not the Carlton Birds. So there was a guy named Robert St. Mar. He was a Carlton. Also, did you know that they used to call them subscribers back in the day instead of members? Fascinating link there. So Bob St. Mar owned a cockatoo, and they call the cockatoo Cocky Ma. And he used to bring it to games, and he would stand in the Heatley stand and cheer on Carlton games. He was a big fan of Harry Valance and used to cheer up there Soapy when Harry would kick a goal. And every time Carlton would kick a goal, he would flap his wings. It's a real story. Have I heard the alternative Carlton theme song recording they did in the 1930s? No, I didn't. I have seen some of the lyrics that could have been different. I'm going to YouTube this alternative Carlton theme song. What? Hang on. This was an alternative theme song used by the Carlton Football Club during the early 1980s, late 1970s. Okay, I'm going to play this. This is on YouTube. Can someone confirm this? Is this real? Blue is the color, winning is our aim. It's not a bad chant. Like if we chanted it. Blue is color. I'm not going to lie. It's not terrible. It's not terrible. I understand we don't like change. It's not awful. I thought it would be a bit cringy. And now I'm seeing a lot of you actually, I've never heard that in my life. Sandra, my grandfather always sung this and my mum. There's one from 1961. All right, man, let's go down the YouTube rabbit hole together. Oh, all right, there's another one. Oh, this is unbelievable. I didn't know this existed. I have a video on this. Yeah, check it. 61.
We are the Navy Blues. We are the good old Navy Blues. We're the team that never lets them down. We're the only team old Carlton knows. We're all the champions they like to send up. We'll keep our end up, and then they'll know that they've been playing
Delete.
against the famous old dark blues. We're all the champions they like to send up. We'll keep our end up, and then they'll know that they've been playing against the famous old dark blues.
That's cool. That is cool. I think they should play something like that at functions. Get like an old school band together. That is cool. I also love this uniform. Wow. I had no idea this was a thing. 1950s. Is this different? Hey.
I can't. You know what? Shout out Gokhan while I'm in the car. That blue is the colour has been sung to you about 8 times on fan cams by me.
What?
It's a famous Chelsea chant. It's like a 18th century folk song in the UK that Chelsea adopted.
You sung it to me?
Yeah. Gokhan knows it. Like, unless I've been going round to Gokhan's house while he's in the shower and just singing to him.
Yeah, but like there's chanting something. Look, I don't remember you chanting that at me or singing it to me, but
It's all right, Terry.
I did my best to listen.
We are the Navy Blues. We are the old dark Navy Blues. We're the team that never lets them down. We're the only team old Carlton knows.
This is fucking horrible. It's like John Formby.
I like the previous two. That one, not as much.
When I'm
Not as
cleaning windows. You know what? The Chelsea one's not so bad, to be fair. It is Chelsea. But
I
it
thought I was going to hate it. Not going to lie. Thought I was going to hate it.
Yeah, but the problem is, you know, my problem with AFL songs, that they're too slow. Like, Frankie, you're a musician, so Your opinion's greater than mine in this, but I'm telling you, it's too slow. It needs to be like 1.5 speed.
Just had
Because
an
when you
epiphany.
listen to the boys sing it, it's quicker.
Frankie, it's time to record a new version of the song with your saxophone.
Yeah,
Surely you've
but it
done it.
needs like the art of a chant is quicker.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? So I like the song, but I just think, the one they come out to, it's like real. For me, if you're an entrance song, it's meant to fire you up, innit? Like you watch the WWE, like when I was a kid, WWF, they're all like, yeah, you're ready to headbutt someone, aren't you?
100%.
You know what I mean? Like you wouldn't see like a boxer, a world heavyweight title come out to fucking George Formby with his little guitar going, when I'm cleaning windows.
I really enjoyed this. I like for a function.
We are the Navy Blues.
Just like classy, like a jazz bar, with a cigar, wearing a 3-piece, maybe a hat.
Yeah, this to me, the way this song goes reminds me of like we'd be in a waistcoat and there'd be some flapper girls around us and like you'd see a bit of ankle and you'd be like, oh my God, that's risque. Like, yeah, like we're talking 1920s, when were the flappers? 1920s? Bit of anyone connoisseur of US history, wasn't it? The flappers were the 1920s.
Flappers.
That was the big phase.
That was during the prohibition for alcohol, wasn't it?
Oh, look at Terry. Here we are. Dun, 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 dun.
Do you know how I know that?
School?
I took uni. I took history. Was it uni? What was it? Yeah, it was a non-law elective. I took history because the girl who I ended up dating took it, and I wanted to go have a class with her. I didn't have any. Yeah.
It's fascinating, isn't it? Like when you do stuff. So, like, the reason I fell into maths was because of Natalia. I was going to drop it at A level, but she was super hot, so I stayed on.
Yeah.
Hey, hello, hey.
Swing style.
Very good. Googling it. Flappers.
How blue are you? There's another one.
Yeah, here we are. Look, the flappers movement was in the 1920s, who wore short skirts, bobbed their hair, listened to jazz, and had a disdain for prevailing to decent behaviour and pushed the social boundaries. Imagine wearing a knee-high skirt in today's generation is pushing boundaries.
True. You know what I've realized? Is this me getting older now? I'm appreciating diving deep into history. Is that what happens?
Yeah, you hit 30, bro, and then you start saying shit like this. Back in my day, like I reckon it was about a day after I turned 30 that I started bringing that gambit out.
Okay, Carlton song, How Blue Are You?
Can I ask you a question? I mean this with all sincerity because I love Australia. It's my home. But why the fuck can't you guys come up with a song with chants? Like why? Like just someone tell me like why that music sounds like a pornographic game on Java. Like why? Like I don't understand. Like someone make me understand.
I don't know. But this is the Peter Motley song? No, I'm just going to cut that off right there.
I'm pretty. Do you remember at school, and you were forced to learn the recorder? They were the types of songs. They were the types of songs that we learned.
Yeah, yeah. Although that blue song, I'm happy with that. That was cool.
The blue is the colour. Football is the game. We're all together.
Happy as the day.
So yeah, I didn't hear what the Australian version was, but yeah, I know the Chelsea one because you do hear that all the time. Da 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 da.
Blue is the colour.
It is one of them songs. There's a lot of opposition songs that you actually bob your head to. In the UK, you try and resist it because you're like belting track.
Tony Barber singing Carlton songs.
Quality shout by Josh. That's something I wind Zoe up because she's really into her music like me, and I'm like, at least my country's biggest band isn't fucking the Wiggles.
Bugs, do you mean this first one? Steve Silvani, Tony Barber song about Stephen Silvani before his 300th game. I'm going to get back to this.
Look at the 70s lid on this guy. Look at the top.
Do you think we're going to get to a point in time where the shirt over the blazer comes back?
I hope it comes back. Like,
You're ready.
I'm trying to bring this. I'm trying to bring this turtleneck back.
Yeah, you're ready, aren't you?
I'm ready to bring that back, brah. Like, let's do it. Why not?
There goes Mike Fitzpatrick. How does he do that trick? That's just Mike Fitzpatrick now. He can win a tap.
Right this.
You can hear the crowd shout. That's just Mike Fitzpatrick now. And by the way, he'll win the day. And
well, you could chant this.
The team out will say, there goes Mike Fitzpatrick. How does he do that trick? That's just Mike Fitzpatrick now. The captain of the Navy Blues. He knows each trick and each ruse, and we'll say there goes Mike Fitzpatrick. How did he do that trick? That's just Mike Fitzpatrick now.
He's done us a favour as well.
That was good.
Fitzpatrick, Patrick Cripps. He's done us a favour phonetically. Frankie, I know what you and me are doing. I know what me and Frankie are doing every day.
With the angle of his feet, left and right across the back line when he plays. He's syncopated, gated, and there's such a lively dangle to the angle of his feet. How they run when they hear the sauces come, because the Carlton folks all know he's a highfalutin, deadly shooting son of a surge from up to Snowball Flag Town, Blue Boy Sauce. And there he goes, sauce, he knows where the ball is, he knows. Left and right across the back line where he plays. He is syncopated, gated, and there's such a lively dangle to the angle of his feet when he runs. And they hear the clusters come, because the Carlton folks all know he's a highfalutin, deadly shooting son of a surge from up to Silver Flag Town, Blue Boy Sauce. And there he goes, because the Carlton folks all know he's a highfalutin, deadly shooting son of a surge from up to Silver Flag Town, Blue Boy Sauce. Yeah, he's the boss. He's a highfalutin, deadly shooting son of a surge from up to Silver Flag Town, Blue Boy Sauce. He's the boss. And that's the boss.
That is elite.
Good work, Mr. Barber.
It's like looking at the old world into the new. It's like the way things used to be.
The Homelander call by Frankie is another fucking level. An absolute gem that in chat. Absolute knocked out of the park. That.
Didn't we lose Stephen Silvani's 300th game? Can someone? Who did we play? What was the backstory to that? Because I feel like that's no good.
Why are you trying to bring everyone down, man?
No, someone mentioned it. We did it. We did it in reflections the other day. Someone mentioned that "We Are the Navy Blues" song on Blueseum. Oh, look, it is. It's Walter. Walter, you need to come join us, mate. Here, Walter. This is the link. Join us. Join us. Come and tell us exactly.
He'll join without a camera, though.
No, join us with a camera. Join us, mate. I want to see you. I want to meet you. You know, I want to see what you're about. I want to look into your eyes. I want you to look at me down the camera and tell me what you think. There you go. You got an opportunity. Get a lot of attention. You've got 150 people watching. Come in, mate. Anyway, Carlton and Richmond. That was his 300th game. I'll write a bunch of new ones on the provision that Terry and Pom record the vocals. I don't think you want me singing.
Done, mate. Consider it done.
Yeah, Pommy can chant it. I'm more of a talker. I'm not a singer.
Look at Terry. Come on, mate. Look, we do it together. We do it together or not all.
Fair. You weren't there, man.
Mate, we do it together, bro. We do it together. Do you want to... Hey, Walter, mate, if you're at work, just jump in, mate. Be all right. Because...
No, you're not at work. You are not. You are not at work.
Right. You know, come on. Stop teasing me.
But, yeah, come in.
Do you want to see a bit of a... You made some calls about Tristan Jerry today.
Yeah.
Do you want to deep dive with me in Tristan Jerry?
Let's deep dive about Tristan Sherry. Let's do it.
Shall we play? Do you want to play, Chad?
Yeah. Paul, this is the other thing.
Something new that I'm trialing. To try and make it a bit easy for you to understand data.
Oh my god!
So we'll see here. These are. I'm going to spoil the video that I've done, but the top three ruckmen under the age of 28 are Kieran Briggs, TDK, and Tristan Jerry this year. So we did a bit of a deep dive into, are we getting a new Gorn and Grundy? Is that going to happen? Because we used to have Gorn, Grundy and Nick Nat, but we didn't. So you can see here, if you're familiar with the pomegranate, this is a radar chart, so you can get to see this. So
sorry to interrupt. Is the idea the perfect player has like a circle?
Yeah, so in the video, what we tried to explain is Dan Hoyne did an article where he kind of half explains things to people, but he talked about hit outs and then what you do around the ground. So you actually find when you watch a ruckman, you'd have to judge all the midfield quartet and it should form a perfect circle. So you can see Tristan Jerry.
Yeah.
He's making almost a perfect circle on the right-hand side. And this is like what we'd consider classic ruckman stats. So ground ball gets, centre clearance rate. So that's the percentage of centre clearances he wins when he attests them. Stoppage clearances. And then you see kind of deviates in the classic ruck stats, your hit outs to advantage and stuff, which is becoming less and less important in today's game. Hit outs to advantage and hit outs won. It's not really a marker. Then in the middle, you've got... Why? Because midfielders now are no longer big units. They're big units with pace, so they can get the ball clear very quickly. So if you look, Cripps, you look at Cripps now, and then you look at Cripps, the versions of Cripps 20 years ago, that was more of a static, slow, ball-winning beast looking to get the ball away. Now these boys can break lines. And then you've got players like Sheasel, Dacos, who can dance their way through. Then you've got TDK here. So this is a real common misconception. If we bring in Tim English, I always like to look at Tim English because Tim English is the prototype doing stuff around the ground.
Oh, wow.
And you can see where that comes from, but you can see a massive dip in both ruck stats. So if you look at this side of your screen and here, where the gaps are, that's where we'd expect a ruckman to be. So we'll hide Tim English because he complicates it. You look at Kieran Briggs, he's really, really good. He's really good. He's got that depth, but you'll find if you look at GWS, their ability to create intercepts, ground ball gets, and win opposition hitouts is astronomically high. So that's why he works. You look at Carlton. Carlton have some of the most intercepting midfielders in the league. And ground ball gets, he ranks quite high off. So that's why Carlton are quite dominant at scoring in the middle.
So if I've read this right, we are at, the danger for Sherry is that he can intercept the ball, but De Koning has a clear advantage at what he does with the ball in hand. He's more of a threat with the ball in hand because he gains territory.
Indeed. So then if we show you this one, does that one... Why can't I switch tabs? That's really annoying.
Oh, this is so good.
This is even better. So then what we do is we've broken down these into each metric.
Okay.
This is, you've done this at school.
Yeah.
Bar graph, a bar
Easy.
chart.
So meters
this is
gained
probably-
per disposal.
So these are the key algorithms for Ruckman. So meters gained, why is that important? So we find in today's game, the territory game is probably the most important, the ability to get the ball away. So Ruckman generally find the ball in a shitload of congestion. So what these are is every Ruckman below the age of 28 who's playing. So you can see Sam Draper, very underrated. Sam Draper, he gets the ball away quite a bit. TDK, though, real interesting here. Real high up on this graph. Bailey Williams, really underrated. Makes sense, though, why Bailey Williams gets the ball away. His team is shit. No disrespect. But it's buying them time. So, simple start, but this is the intercepts. See here, Tim English. This is what I like to call the deceptive stat. So what I mean by that, this is where when you have arguments with people, numbers are numbers. The eye doesn't lie. And Pom's there like, science will tell you you're an idiot. You know what I mean? This is where that comes in because looks are deceiving. Because you see Tim English actively involved in a lot of small chains and intercepting, it makes you think he's really active and you notice him. The good Ruckman genuinely are hidden. You don't really notice him. Tristan Jerry, though, really, really good at this. This is an area of his game that is incredibly good. But you can see the gaps are quite shallow. But this is where it gets really interesting. This is where the best Ruckman really hit out. So this is something that Max Gorn did. And I want you to explain this. Luke Jackson probably shouldn't be on here. If I ran Champ Star, I wouldn't class him in this ruck stat. Because
why is that?
He's not. Well, because he's not a pure ruck. And this is really interesting. When we talk about two ruck systems, keep looking for the yellow and the green. Because this is a two ruck system, Jackson and Darcy. And they complement each other really well. And then if you look at their midfield, both of them complement their midfield. So that's why they play two rucks. Because Darcy can't do anything around the ground. Jackson does. So, and it's heavily lopsided. It's not like Pitternet and TDK where it's quite close. This is heavily lopsided in the ruck. Like Darcy is a beast. And we get this one. This is probably this for me is the most important stat if you're looking at a pure ruckman. It is the amount of centre clearances they win of their team. And you can see
Kieran Briggs wins 12.37 centre clearances a game.
Yeah, that's percentage. So it's the percentage of clearances from the centre.
Gotcha.
So that's quite high. That's astronomically high.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And then you look at GWS. What have they got? Have they got any true centre clearance players in the arc of like a Cripps and a Hewitt? So this is why when you watch my preview, I said it was quite a worry for me playing two rucks, right? Or playing or removing Hewitt or someone like that, removing a key pillar, because it basically is Kieran Briggs' job. So the more light players you have who can work around him is good. So it's always a one. But this is Jerry here. Look, Jerry, very similar. But look at TDK. TDK and Sherry. This is an area that Dan Hoyne loves Luke Jackson for. But you can see, look, Jerry and TDK almost the same as Mr. Luke Jackson.
Yeah.
Very good ruckman.
So
then we get to
numbers, if I'm looking at De Koning's numbers, is this only when he's in the ruck? Because what I'm thinking of are okay, so it's not impacted by the fact that Pitto's in the team as well.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
No, this is across the season this year.
Across the season. But only when he has rucked.
This is with Pitternet as well.
With Pitternet as well. Gotcha.
Because that's fair, because Kieran Briggs has had to dual ruck. Darcy has to dual ruck.
Yeah.
Everyone kind of does. He's probably more sacrificed because he's been 50-50. This website, it's my work, this is just POM. This is just POM. So then marks, this is another misconception. Because you mark a lot, means you do a lot around the ground. But if you look at the good ruckman, look, 3.4, 2.7, around 3 is what we're looking for.
I would also, with Tim English, he does get a lot of these cheapy ones in the back half, back 50, runs wide. There's a bit of that. But I'm also generalizing, aren't I? So
You are, but I mean, this is just trying to tell you that sometimes when people look at data, the worst thing you can ever do from like a science point of view is just observe something and assume the answer. You need to back what your eyes see with data. So your eyes would tell you that Tim English is the best ruckman around the ground because you see him getting these intercepts. You see him pop up in the back half of the ground and be the exit ball. And you start to think, okay, I've seen him. But when you actually look at it, you haven't noticed TDK do it as much. But TDK does it as much. These are the really interesting stats. So I want you to see a pattern here, right? Meek, beast. Darcy, beast. Kieran Briggs, beast. Sam Draper, beast. All leading the hit-out win percentage. Now, this is one of them stats that I hate, hit-out win percentage, and it's something that Champs Data ranks Ruckman very high. Champs Data is stuck in the 80s, where Ruckman win taps. So that's why you'll see, I think it's Carlton News and Stats, up the baggers. They always talk about Pitternet's the second best ruckman in the league via Champions Data player ratings. That's why it's stupid, because that's great if we were playing in the 1980s. Ruckmen don't do this anymore, though. This isn't the key metric of a ruckman, and the draft proves it. The best ruck craft never goes the highest. Because nowadays, rucks complement the midfield. They don't win the ball for the midfield.
Yeah, it's not as much of a priority to have first use, is what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, so it's all structure set up.
What I've noticed from what you've showed so far is DeConing seems to be not at the top in every stat, but kind of close to the top in most of the stats.
Analytical mind there. So when you do data, particularly in elite sport, the trick is not to be number one for everything. Like Carlton, great example, Carlton. Being number one in turnover and turnover defence is brilliant. But then when you look at stoppage, and you are the worst defending team in the league and the 15th worst in defending centre clearance, it can warp your stats. You would much rather Carlton be third turnover defence and turnover attack and be fifth stoppage against and fifth stoppage for, because then you've got a more balance, because then you have the points against issue. Carlton's numbers from stoppage and clearance equate to how far away we are Sydney on points against per game. So that's why it's really interesting when people say, I want to be number one at this. Always be wary of what you might sacrifice. And that's why I think Voss is tinkering. Voss will probably do this and tinker to try and find us gaining 10 from stoppage, maybe losing 5 from turnover, but overall being better. I died. Don't worry.
Mate, now is not the time. We've got a flag to win.
And here we are. This is hit outs to advantage 1 as well.
Percentage.
So you see, so percentage. So see Darcy again. So this is why when you look at these stats, historic will tell you from 1990, the higher you rank on these stats, the less they'll do for your midfield. They'll just win the stat. But statistically speaking, there's a few exceptions. They're all Grundy is one of them. But for every one, there'll be 50 ruckmen that will dominate this stat and be bottom 3 for all the others.
Why is that?
Because to win this means you're a big oaf. You're opening doors for the Adams family.
But doesn't this separate? Doesn't the hitouts to advantage stat sort of allow us to go deeper than just hitouts 1? Because if you're hitting it to advantage, that means your team's winning possession, or is that not the case?
Well, you look at Carlton's stoppage and clearance particularly, about 70% of them are from opposition hitouts.
Right.
So Carlton, the way they structure, they're structuring to win the ball at the fall of the ground. So for Carlton's structure, we don't care if we win it or lose it. Our priority is winning it at the deck. So anyone could win it. And that's why Jesus last year did pretty well in the ruck, even though he didn't do very well in these stats. We all thought he did well because the midfield just works overtime. And it actually works better for Jesus to be in there because he acts as an extra midfielder. And the plan is, don't let them out, don't let them out, don't let them out. So genuinely, anyone over 30%, which is elite at this stat, is just a big magnet of a boy, big brute of a boy.
Wow. So when I look
So-
at the team that we named this week, midfield heavy, it would seem. Because I was sort of saying beforehand, I don't think Jack Carroll would be playing based on the fact that Hewitt's in, Kennedy's in, Walsh, Chera, but it looks like we've got a pretty heavy midfield rotation playing.
Yeah, so you look, TDK, in my opinion, so like if you watch that Chera video I did of trying to get him out of the midfield and out wide, one of the things we talked about, that why the stoppage works with Hewitt and Kennedy is it basically gives you what Pitternet gives you, the big body, but what Pitternet doesn't give you is the tackles. So when you watch the Sydney game, which he played, where Carlton ran through, loads of people said things which technically aren't right, but they are right. So what I'll explain. Carlton are slow. They ran through. You actually look where they ran through. They ran through on Pitternet, knowing that if they could get through Pitternet, and Pitternet's tackling is barbaric at times, you're out. When you've got TDK there, TDK, and this stat here will show it, TDK is not shabby at tackling. That anything over 3 here is what I'd expect an on-baller who is just a pure on-baller to get. So 3.5 for Mr. TDK is elite. Tristan Jerry, he's actually in the top 5 of midfielders. That's how good he is.
He's a free tackler. It's amazing.
So,
it's actually going to be a pretty good matchup.
Yeah, so now you ask yourself this: why is Tristan Zeri so good? Okay, well, you look at the makeup of North's midfield, with the exception of LDU, it's very lightweight and exciting, but defensively it's very poor, right? That's why they can do that. So this is very similar to how Hawthorn played back in the day. Sam Mitchell and co weren't exactly repeat tackle type players and physical type cookies, but their Ruckman and Hodge, when he was in there, were. So they could negate that by being very defensive there and then very classy around. And that's how he likes to do it. Voss is trying to find a way. So TDK with Kennedy and Hewitt, suddenly you've got 10 tackles a game in the middle, which is huge. And the problem is when you add Pitternet and TDK, you've probably got 4 tackles. And then you're taking Kennedy and Hewitt out of that, which we have done. You're then asking Cripps to stop playing with the ball because he's more of a feeder this year. And then you're looking at Walsh and Chera, which we've seen last week in ratings. They were top 3 on the ground for tackles. They're not getting on the end of the ball. They're having to stop anything coming this way, which is counterintuitive of what you want to do.
So, I mean, I know this might be a silly question because he's not going to be a factor for us, but is this why we want to see Jack Silvani in this team? Because he can play that secondary ruck role and probably be a bit more mobile around the ground?
Well, the reason JSOS is great in the ruck is because his ruck work is irrelevant in this.
Yeah.
So his ruck work's irrelevant in this. What it allows us to do is stop that run through the midfield. So the pace is all well and good if you're goal side or your goal side. But genuinely, you watch TDK, he's very similar to Jerry, and Jerry has got this mastered. And Matt makes a great point. If you watch him, he droops it down by his feet. So TDK does the same as well. TDK likes it right in the hot zone because he knows the midfield just swamp it. And then we overlap on the side and try and handball it out. Very similar to what they do. That's what Jack Silvani does. You watch Jack Silvani in the ruck last year, he sometimes didn't compete. He'd just try and shield the way where the tap would go. So he genuinely shielded our gold side. So the tap had to go backwards, which allowed us all to overlap and basically congest the area. And it was either a bomb over the top or you got tackled in a repeat stoppage. So that's where Jack can probably do it. Would be interesting. I reckon Voss would love Jack Silvani back at the moment because he's obviously seen this problem with stoppage. He's trying to find a way of not destroying the turnover game because the turnover is more important than this.
Yeah.
That wins you games. But he doesn't want to break this too much. Doesn't want to break the back line too much.
Wow.
I mean, JSOS is actually the easy in.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You drop a small forward, bring him in, play him at half forward and pinch it in the ruck.
Yep.
We just laugh for the rest of our lives.
That's just for flag number 2, I guess.
So this stat here is probably the most important stat. So this is where, when you look at Max Gawn, Brodie Grundy, this was probably the stat that they developed. And when you look at clearances and hit outs, the most important one is how many of them become a score. So score launches, these are the stat from out the back of the stoppage, out of any congestion. And this is where you're looking for a good ruckman. The great ruckman, Dean Cox, go back and watch him. They didn't calculate score launches then, but watch that Eagles team. This guy from stoppage and clearance got the game going, got them on the end of a score. And this is a real positive for Carlton. Tom de Koning, one of the youngest in this list, because this is just 28 years and younger, absolutely flying here. Absolutely flying. 3 a game. So that means roughly you're getting a net 18 points just off him being in the ruck.
Right.
And Briggs and Meek, very interesting. Sam Mitchell, you look at how his midfield play, very interesting. There's a lot of reliance on this because Sam Mitchell knows his team isn't great, but it's very physical. So
is Pito not on this list because he just isn't relevant to this conversation, or
the reason that Pito wasn't on here is we basically capped it at games as well. So I think it was 8 games as well we capped, because I thought some of them, when you look at under 8 games, they've played shit sides, so their numbers are well warped. So for me, when you're doing data comparison, you have to have a good collection of good and shit teams in there. If you start manipulating the data, I'm Daniel Hoyne then. And
no, I'm just curious because like Draper, Draper's there. He's missed a big chunk of the season. I'm not sure what the number of games that Goldstein's played, for example. And also, there's no Gawn and Grundy because the purpose of this data is to look at the league without the duopoly, right?
Yeah. We wanted to know the next best because we know how good they are. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? You don't have to. How many times can we analyze Gawn and Grundy? But for me, the next big one is one of these guys. One of these guys is going to come up, and the aim of the video was to say that I don't think you're going to have a duopoly. I think you're going to have 6 or 7. I actually think you're coming into the era now where there's defined ruckman. And this is overall. So what we did here to create this, and this is something that doesn't actually often exist in AFL data, but what you do is you attribute every ranking to a percentage and you basically create the range to be very even. So these then start becoming a percentage of their ratings. So it's very similar to AFL ratings, but you're not attributing points for doing well. You're attributing where they rank in the grand scheme of all the ruckmen who have played the game and the percentiles of data. So you can see here, Kieran Briggs is the most well-rounded ruck.
Wow.
So far. But look, Jerry and TDK almost identical.
Isn't it fascinating that I didn't realize that Sherry was in the same draft. Pick 72. In the same draft as de Koning.
And you'd say these two have got something very similar. At the time, Tristan Xerri was just an ox.
Yeah.
Just a beefcake. He was like Alex Murkoff in his draft year. He was just massive. Where TDK danced around and looked exciting. But seeing how both of them have added what they don't have in such astronomical talk is amazing. Is amazing to see. Because these are probably the two most... Kieran Briggs has always been good, and I think he's never been used. And I think GWS got obsessed with the whole theory of Brid and Bruce. I think they bought into the hype. I think he should have had it. But then you see Tim English. Tim English is a fascinating cat for me because he gets a lot of hype, and this is why some of them deceptive stats doesn't mean he's rubbish, but sometimes your eye will really lie to you of what is good and what is bad. And that's where it comes in because you notice Tim English, fluorescent blonde-haired kid, looks good, he looks mobile, but in reality, it's not far off Sean Darcy, who we've proved, not very good round the ground, he just wins. So you can see this is probably saying to the Dogs, that's why his best year was with Stephen Martin, because Stephen Martin did the dirty stuff, which allowed him to be sexy. I don't think Tim English is as acquitted as TDK to run solo without midfield change.
Yeah, right.
And they are, look. And Luke Jackson.
So these overalls, are they out of 100? Are they?
Yeah,
Like, what's the
so-
highest? Yeah.
Yeah. So it ranks it out of 100. So,
For
yeah. So
every ruck to ever play the game
no, this is of every ruck in this year
in this
on a
year.
list at the moment who has played. So it's a common when you're working with elite sportsmen, particularly golfers. Golfers hate it when you say you rank second for driving distance, 88 for average distance to the hole from your approach shot. If you can give them a percentile rank, which instead of saying second will be something like 98% or something like that, that makes more sense to them because it means that I'm nearly perfect. Like ranking just tells me what everyone else is doing. I want to know what I'm doing. So this is a real fair way to do it, a real good metric of saying, right, where do you rank across every data point? And let's condense that into a percentage of how good you are. So effectively see that 61 as Kieran Briggs is 61% of a perfect ruckman. If we went to the laboratory and we built our perfect ruckman, that could be Mark Pitternet in hitouts, TDK in tackles, Kieran Briggs in score launches, whatever. That's how far off he is from the alien ruckman we've just built.
Wow. And Briggs is 24 years old. He's younger than TDK and Sherry.
He is. And you look like he's a very good ruckman. He's a very good ruckman. Very underrated as well. I find when I talk to anyone about football, when we talk about who's the best ruckman, they'll go Gorn, Grundy. But he's one that's never thrown in. Like, if I push someone and went, yeah, but not other than them, they'd be like, Jerry, TDK. Like, you'd be like, who else? Draper. Like, you forget about him. But this is what I say to you. This is why your eye can lie. Because you watch Kieran Briggs. He doesn't excite you. Like, I watched the GWS game. Even though he won, I don't think he was that dominant by the eye in the terms of he wasn't kicking goals. He wasn't Max Gorn down the back. He was just solid. And sometimes, see Nick Newman, you can be so good at your job, you don't notice you.
Interesting. Okay. That's dense, but that's great. It's given me a brand new appreciation for Briggs.
So, it should give you appreciation for what we've got as well, TDK. And
Absolutely.
and it also should give you an appreciation of why it's so hard to pick the team.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So, because if you've got the stoppage hemorrhaging, it would make sense to bring in a bigger body, which would be Mark Pitternet. And then it would make sense to drop Hewitt or Kennedy because they're the slower ones and you want a bit more attacking flair because you'll see Pitternet's numbers and go, well, he's in the ruck. He's not going to do a TDK. He's not going to take the ball out there and ping a nice kick to half forward. So then you have all them cycles and everything's synergy. It's all equilibrium. So that's what's really hard as a coach. I feel for them because it's easy when I'm doing my little videos and telling you, move Cherry here. And that takes balls because you know why I can say that with data? Because if it goes wrong, there ain't going to be someone on Twitter calling me a prick. Because when you're Voss, it's going to be everyone's going to call you a prick. And you hear how the media say, so simple, play Kennedy and play Hewitt. It is simple, but also Voss has got to believe in it himself.
Also, you're a touchwood, you're a rolled ankle to TDK away from that whole plan going tits up.
Yeah, and also you don't want to, like, it makes sense, like Kennedy and Hewitt, if I can play one of them, and then maybe if Cherry can, he's always been good at defending, if he can somehow defend and then attack, I don't need to play Kennedy, but it doesn't work in principle because it didn't work last week, and he just became a defender, and it looked horrible. So it's trial and error. You can see I like this selection. I know people might not like it. I do like the fact he's gone a bit mid-heavy because I feel like if someone gets bogged down, you've got that option of saying, right, Connors, you go there and give me something, bruv. It's getting a bit too stagnant in there. And I think that's what Carlton do. I think we play better when we have more rotations. Opposed to, I think if I was Voss, not saying that was his job, Hewitt and Kennedy would be at every stoppage. And that third and fourth would rotate heavily. But I'd be like, look, I'm sacrificing your game. Don't want you to be attacking. just want you to just see something, hit it, repeat. See something, hit it, repeat. And then Cripps is going to be my point of difference. Walsh, Chera, Cunningham, Motlop, whoever that is. But obviously, it's easy to say that in practice because things can happen in games. Rolled ankles, migraines.
Game's so
bad
hard.
games.
It's all so difficult, and it's all big risk and reward.
I mean, it's exciting, isn't it? I mean, it'd be interesting to see who the sub is this week.
Who's your gut feel? What's your gut feeling?
I wouldn't mind Cotters. I feel like his role with Ollie is pointless.
Yeah.
So let him be
Cotters-
half forward and give Cunners the full game.
Well, I don't think it'll be Carroll. I know that naming them on the field can change, but I don't think it will be Carroll. So I think it's either Cotters or Cunningham.
Well, I think the second best player we've had. This is how someone asked me the other day, "Do you miss Fantasia?" And I was like, having seen Cottrell played the role for 2 weeks, yeah.
Isn't it funny that you truly miss what you have only when it's gone?
Yeah, and the next best player to play it statistically is Carroll. So, I mean, if we are having that roll back, give it to Carroll.
Yeah, fair.
I don't like Carroll as a sub because I just don't think he's a master of any craft. And that's no disrespect to him. Just feel like he's a normal, he just is a bits and pieces player.
Okay, fair.
And I just think, like, if Carroll came on, I'm not going to get excited. Like, if Cunners is coming on or Cottrell, I'm like, okay, you've got the gut running, the pace, the direction. This might change the game. I just feel like Carroll, you're bringing on to rest a player, aren't you? It's like you're 60 points up and you pull Hewitt out or you pull Kennedy out and you say, right, just do a job.
Yeah, that's fair. That is fair. What a team show. It was all serious, and then it was fun, and then it went serious, and then we started watching like Carlton game, and then we got back into stats. It was a great journey.
Well, hopefully you all like how them stats are. I'm trying to adapt it so it's a bit more visual. I know you like visual.
No, mate, take it from me. When it comes to, like, I'm not the stupidest, but I'm also not the smartest. If you can visually explain something to me, it sinks in so much easier. I'm just not one of those people that can look at numbers on a spreadsheet and it just like clicks. I know there's certain people that are, but if you paint it in pictures and it's got animations and like colors and pretty things, I'm a little simp. I'm a little simpleton.
No,
You know?
it's good. I mean, I'm
That's the
fortunate.
art.
I can see numbers.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I find it easy. That's why I've
I
always
know how
liked
to
math.
ask the right question to get the answer that I'm looking for to you. I just don't know how to read the data when you just like throw it. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I sort of, that's why I find that we work pretty well off each other because I can ask the right question for a little Dumbo.
It's good.
Like
I mean, it sounds weird. I sound like Rain Man here, but you know, like that bar graph, I actually see that in my mind. So I could say to myself, like, I can actually see that like visually. Like, it sounds weird, but if you gave me numbers, I could just imagine that in a graph in my mind. So then I can do it. I can do it. But
that web is great. I think there's a way that we can simplify it even more, but I think in theory that we should be using that a lot more. I think the pomograph that we use on ratings is the start of the journey towards that.
There's loads of graphs we can do. I mean, I am a graph whore. I love a graph. I do love different little graphs. But I do find Zoe likes that graph. Actually, Zoe's a big fan of the radar graph because she knows she's looking for a circle.
Yeah.
And once you tell someone looking for a round thing, where it's not round is shit, it's easy, isn't it? It's like, okay.
There's something that feels good when we do ratings and someone's got like the hexagon perfectly in proportion outside of the red hexagon. There's something about it that just slaps.
Yeah, and humans are visual creatures. Do you know what I mean? Like you look when we do intelligent games with gorillas and chimpanzees. What do? The first thing they teach them is colours and shapes.
Yeah.
Why?
True.
Because it's pretty easy to recognise.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need a huge level of evolution.
True.
To help.
Mate, that's elite.
There you are. So Tristan Sherry.
Tristan
Should be a good
Sherry.
battle.
Well, that's the other thing. It should be a great battle. Two guys, same draft, similar age. Tom's got 25 odd games experience on Sherry. Sherry's really coming to his own. Well, they've both come into their own this year.
Yeah, well, you know what? Someone asked me last week how. I think it was with Wheater and I can't remember who Wheaton was on now because I'm switched off from last week. Yeah.
Jamara?
Was it Hugo Hagen?
Oh, yeah.
Whoever it was. But someone said, how can they both have near 10? And Tristan Jerry and TDK could be 2 10s in Ruckman's because if you looked at their data, one is good at one avenue of Ruckcraft and the other one is good at the other. So they can have 10s each and not affect each other's game, right? And still perform well. And it's the same with key defenders and key forwards. Sometimes a key forward can kick goals, believe it or not, by not being the defender being at fault.
Right.
And sometimes a defender can towel up a forward and it not be the fault. Great example was last week. If you actually looked at the data, Charlie could have had a 10, but what helped the defender out get a 7.5 of the opposition was Buku Kamis didn't have them goals on him, so the stats he was acquiring got him closer to a 10. But you've got to think of it this way. Every goal Charlie kicks, that takes a stat off him. So it's like a game.
Mm-hmm.
So even though Buku Kamis had a 7.5, probably wasn't a good 7.5 because he could have had a 2 if Charlie had kicked 10-3. And a lot of his stats were warped by Carlton's inefficiency to actually kick a good inside 50. So that's not Buku Kamis. You can't judge a player on Carlton's midfield being shit. Like Buku Kamis doesn't affect that when he's sat there and we're just picking him off.
I actually watched that. I watched a video. Saba, he did the breakdown of Charlie on exactly that. And he actually highlighted some of the entries. I want to play a little bit of it. Just the entries. Where was it?
And this has to be the biggest pet peeve of mine when Charlie calls for the ball playing behind the defender. Unfortunately, we don't have an entire team of capable ball users who can clear the defender and get Charlie to use his body or have the accuracy to perfectly telegraph it for Charlie to leap over the top the majority of the time. Buku Kamis, given always is leading, is essentially that second intercept defender they liked to help beat Charlie. Why can't we see always be a roadblock as...
No, it was... where was it? It was when we were showing the good examples. Charlie needs support. Is it here?
I imagine. The ball is perfectly placed for Jamara to run in a straight line to hit the ball and step, especially intercept. We're talking praise. If it's just Charlie's first line of fire and evade, but right into Chincotta, who will get the tackle, the goal, and the praise. If it's just Charlie in the vicinity, in comes the laziness argument, not strong in the tackle, etc. Dale feels less under duress, and breaking free of Charlie's tackle allows Dale to use numbers either side to feed his own run or back 50 exit from someone else. That's a piece of why playing forward half football is important, as this goal comes from a forward half turnover. Carlton midfielders and forwards aren't required to exert energy running forward to provide support as you would with a defensive half game because they're already down there. This example is sort of like the drill I was talking about. You can close down the ball carrier or get in the path, but you're outnumbered in a 2-on-1 situation. You either anticipate or you commit. Commit and you leave the entry to the outside open. Anticipate and you leave the exit open. This indecision has been created because of the dogs getting mids and forwards alike, pushing back and adding extra plays that give them the advantage. Playing the clip in full speed, Charlie has milliseconds to decide anyway. Maybe the chase could be better, but Charlie's got to exert a fair bit of energy in other facets of the game, so maybe it's a matter of preservation? You decide. Here's one more. The dogs have the support. Charlie opts to anticipate as opposed to committing, and it's the right call. Back the smalls to compress. Chincotta needs to roll around with Dale, and Charlie protects the switch. And because of that support, Carlton can go again back inside 50. It's a team sport, and you saw every player do their role here, tracking runners on both sides, some on their more direct man than others. Most often, defenders will outweigh attackers by design. It takes
Little sneak peek. You can watch the video later. But yeah. See, visual breakdowns like that help me understand things.
And you can see sometimes why I get frustrated. Do you know what I mean? Like with things like, because like to me, like what Sab is saying is really simple. Like you ain't going to force a key forward, your goal kicker. You don't want him having 10 forward 50 tackles. That says it's a bad system. And my best advice is whenever you want to analyze anything, if you have an idea like Charlie's lazy or Charlie's selfish, flick through other players who play his role and go, right, let's stack them up. Let's stack them up. And if there is and there'll be a glaring disparity, I promise you, if you have a hunch, and I've done it a few times, I've had a hunches on a player and I've gone down a rabbit hole, and then I've rang Terry and got excited saying, I've worked it out. So like you start to look, right? It's very lazy if you just see something and assume it. And that's a good lesson for life. Don't just assume something because that's what you feel or you visualize. Prove the feeling, prove the visual. And sometimes you'll be shocked if you just like go. I do it sometimes out of boredom, deep dive, and go, right, let's look at this. Oh shit, that's amazing.
Sorry to be a random here. There's a high chance we won't be able to watch the footy tonight. Microsoft has been hacked. Live TV's cooked. Really? Don't tell me that.
I'll tell you. I'll tell you how true that is.
Yeah, how true is that?
This is very, isn't it? This is like, the first day of, when COVID started. And I remember the report coming and me underestimating Zoe's knowledge of her own people. Because she was like, oh, God, it's going to be fucking stupid. Like, people are going to start panic buying stuff. And I'm like, surely no one's that stupid, Zoe. No one's going to buy toilet paper and stuff like that. And went to Coles. And there was now...
The first tweet. That's a pretty good tweet. AFL says Microsoft has never been better.
I don't know about that. I've just used my KO and I am currently, it's still going. I'm just watching Brett Koepka play the first at Royal Troon.
The NRL seems to have a few issues. Well, Essendon FC. There is a global outage which is impacting all industries, including the AFL. Please be aware of the following regarding access to Marvel Stadium. All physical tickets, including a PDF ticket on your phone, are working. All corporate issue tickets are working. Mobile membership card feature on the club app is currently not working, and this will impact Essendon, Adelaide, and AFL Medallion Club members.
Just do what the big dog Grant Spice is doing. Just piss off on holiday to Thailand. You'll be fine. Good man. Man after my own heart. Who cares? I'm living the life of luxury.
We're going back
straight from the prom book.
We're going back to the way it used to be. Just real connection with people.
Yeah, but I'm laughing now. I wasn't laughing about 2 hours ago. But yeah, mate, cash is king. Fight the system.
True.
By the sounds of the AFL, though, it's only the people in the posh seats that are going to be affected.
Yeah.
Fuck them. Eat the rich.
I wonder if the Arc will work tonight. Good call.
It doesn't work when Microsoft works. Might work better.
504 is working on Foxtel live TV. Okay. There you go.
Sandra, what channels aren't working?
Yeah, what? Some channels are not working, but definitely 504 is. Well, right now there'd be nothing live on.
I guarantee it'll be something shit that's not working, and you'll find like one of your mates who'll complain that he can't watch reruns of Antiques Roadshow.
Let's have a look. Let me see something live.
I'm watching the golf.
Oh, live?
Yes. Yes, Tiger Woods is on my screen at the moment.
There you go. Is the
Three-time
hub working?
golfer of the year.
Is the hub working?
I can check it if you want.
No, it's fine. Grant is watching us live from Thailand. There you go.
Did you? I swear Terry ignores me. That was the monologue 5 seconds ago.
What?
When I said a man after my own heart, fuck everyone. I'm living the life of Riley in Thailand.
Oh, when you said eat the rich. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mason.
So are we the only people? Hey, Terry, we might be the only people live in the world.
What do you mean?
Imagine the views. Like, can you imagine the day you and me are live and suddenly we look at that view count and it says 6.8 billion and we just know the world has ended?
You know what we need? You know what's going to happen? This is the vision. Somebody just sees us one day. And it's like, I don't know what these two guys are talking about, but they seem really passionate about it.
Seem really into it.
Yeah, it's going to be someone with like major influence, and that's when our big break comes.
So we're hoping for the end of the world, and you and me are just the last people on a live. We are the TV for the future generation. Feel sorry for you if you are watching this in the future. Apologies.
Yeah.
Yeah, golf's working, so I mean that's me set.
Well, let's just see. Well, you know what? Just another reminder. You just don't know what's around the corner. So live your life to the fullest.
Live your life. Yeah.
Oh, no, slut. La, la, na, na, na.
That's good. Hopefully people appreciate that you did say the Liverpool manager.
Yeah. Tips for tonight, Essendon, Adelaide.
Where is it? Adelaide or it's Essendon, isn't it?
Marvel. I've just got this filthy feeling it's going to be prime Adelaide tonight.
Could be. Yeah, go Adelaide.
Go Adelaide.
I mean, I'll be watching the golf, so I couldn't care. But I'll say Adelaide for the vibes.
Adelaide just get themselves back in. Like, I mean, they're yeah. I don't know. Couldn't care less about two teams, but I hope the Crows.
Mon the Crows.
Mon the Crows. You know what? It's 6:30. I think that's us.
That was a mush.
Mate, that's like 3.5, 4 hours of Teams show this week.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Pom coming in as Terry's trying to wrap down, just giving you guys 5 hours of free
You
content.
literally give us an extra hour. It's amazing.
Because I'm nice.
Yeah. All right, ladies and gents, what do you got there, Pom?
It's a dead teddy bear.
Yeah. Ladies and gents, thanks for tuning in. Thanks to Mr. Cabinets for sponsoring this show. Big thank you to Derek. Pom, thanks for coming in, bringing up that analytical masterclass. And keep your eyes peeled because I've got a fresh historical draft retrospective video coming out. It's good fun. It'll be out at some point. Go Blues.
Go Blues.